Hello and welcome to another percussion tutorial. This is how to play the bongos part 8. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to take a rhythm and then make it your own, or to squeeze the most out of it. Other options, taking one rhythm and perhaps making 2, 3, 4 different rhythms. So just a couple concepts. There's many ways to approach this idea. There's many ways or angles that I can go with this. So I'm just gonna touch on a couple concepts and play a little bit and explain that. But before I do, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. If you subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified of any future videos. All right, so I'm gonna play a little rhythm that I've been using for this series, a kind of a pop pattern. I'm gonna make it a little funky, so I'm space out the notes a little bit and then just use a lot of variations and polyrhythms within it. So within this episode, I guess I'll kind of be talking about how I create my own polyrhythms, but we'll go over that specifically more in depth in another episode, but this certainly is related to that. All right, so just gonna play a little bit and do exactly what I said I was gonna do a minute ago, and then explain my concept of how I take this rhythm and play these variations. All right, so I was just playing a little bit there. Take it for what it is, for better or for worse. Probably not my favorite little jam or solo or what have you, but I had a couple of things that I was playing specifically so that I can explain to you a concept that I use with my students on how to take a rhythm and then take parts of it out, to deconstruct the rhythm and to use it to expand your vocabulary towards other contexts, other genres. So in this genre, it might be a little more like a pop pattern that would play in the place of the drum set. And you might play along with the drum set, but really I was playing the backbeat and everything, right? If the drummer was playing, I might take my snare and my bass. The bass I might line up with him, I might not. But I definitely would take some pops and open tones in between what he was doing. You can look at my videos of playing with a drummer to hear me explain a little bit more about that. But for this, I'm basically playing this rhythm right here. And then I added some ghost notes and notes in between. This stuff in here, the tips with my left hand, is adding another element to the rhythm, but it's the same thing as this. Okay, of course I have my hand on here closing it to get a muted, hard tap out of that, but it's the same thing. Now, there's a couple things that I did. One was a fill or a riff where I went from the macho to the hembra, and I went and back into the rhythm, which I basically went right, left, right, okay? So I took that and that's not part of the rhythm, but I added it to the rhythm. So this I taught as I showed as an exercise in the previous episode, right? So it can also become a rhythm, and I place that rhythm with this rhythm. Okay, so that's one way to look at how we can take some exercises that we've been using or variations in fills and create polyrhythms. So you have a theme. And you build upon that theme. You build upon that theme with ghost notes or fills, or you simplify, such as what I was doing in the rhythm when I went like this. Sounded like two different rhythms, but they're not. To the beginner, to those that may be starting, that may come off as two different rhythms, and they are. But at the same time, they're not. It's just one is extremely simplified. This rhythm here, I took just this, and that's the only thing out of the rhythm that I played. So the first two bass tones that are muffs on the large drum, what if we only played that? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to boom, boom. Boom, boom. So this is where counting, good timing, tempo, paying attention to what we're doing, all of this comes into play. All right? So that's another way to take a rhythm, and I took that part out and created another rhythm from it. What if I took that same rhythm or that same part of the rhythm, and instead of playing on the 1, I played it on the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's different. That's called displacement. All I did was shift it forward. Instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, I went 1, 2. And it has a different feel. I can play it on the end of 2, right after 2, on the 3, on the end of 3. But these two notes are part of the theme. They're part of the rhythm. Just these two notes. And I can place them in different places. And this is a way of taking one rhythm and now expanding upon it. So if you only know and have mastered 1 or 2 rhythms, well, the best thing that you can do is increase your musical skills to the ability of taking a rhythm and manipulating that rhythm. This is why there's a lot of, and I could teach the rhythm that I'm playing, and I did teach it on the funk congas. It's very similar, but I could teach the rhythm and then teach another rhythm, which is something that I do and I will do. But I like to focus for this series and other series on the foundational music theory lessons that are needed, because there's so many great teachers out online and not just online, but that you can hire or you can seek out and take lessons and learn, and books so you can learn rhythms. But if you're just learning the rhythm and then another rhythm and another rhythm, well, when you take that rhythm and put it in a different context, you might get lost and not know what to do. But to expand your musicality, your ability to be a think about the lizard that changes his skin, to camouflage yourself, to be able to go, I don't know why I can't think of that little animal. But anyways, gecko, in order to in order to be able to not just be stuck and say, well, I need a new rhythm. Well, sometimes what you really need to do is increase your counting skills, your listening, your dynamics, and your ability to manipulate rhythms how you want to. And that's very important. So this is a great way to take a rhythm, just a concept and one example of this concept, and taking a rhythm that I played, this, and making it your own, taking that one rhythm and turning it into a bunch of different rhythms. So you can take parts of the rhythm out and construct them. Instead of going, and one more thing, instead of going, it's just, well, I can look at the whole rhythm. That last part where I go, so boom, da, 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 that's the second part of the rhythm. Boom, boom, da, boom, da. So let's just take boom, da, and make a whole rhythm out of it in 4/4. That might be really funky while the drummer's playing. And then you take the, and instead of playing it where the rhythm originally was, put it right on the one. And now your tip here might end up in between his snare hits. Or you can place it there. Now, when you practice or learn new rhythms and study and research and listen to different genres, and you learn different fills, you practice with different exercises, when you master these different rhythms, if you are playing with a metronome, if you're listening to different types of music, subconsciously, the ideal and hope is that you'll begin to do this anyway. So you start borrowing ideas, and not just from the drums and the bongos, but from what the guitar is doing or the bass player is doing. The guitar is going, you add that to your rhythm. But anyways, going back, as you learn these fills and exercises, the goal is not just to be able to learn the fill and exercise rote, note for note. That is what you need to do and master it, but also master it. The big picture is to master it, to be able to use it however you want to. Your creativity is what is the most important thing, because that's going to help you. If the music director says, it's missing something, maybe it just needs to be simplified. Or it's too much, it needs to be simplified. It's missing something, maybe something needs to be added more. So this is just an idea, concept of making a rhythm yours. And so yeah, that's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon.